Okay, so I make it about time to kick the presentation off. Hopefully everybody can hear me. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Robert Crane. My email address is director@ciaops.com. My business is the Computer Information Agency, and you can find more about that at www.ciaops.com. And this webinar will be looking at all the features of SkyDrive, especially around the newly announced SkyDrive Pro. So to kick off the event, let's make sure that everybody can hear me. So if you're seeing these words, basically we've started. So hopefully everybody doesn't have any audio issues at their end. If they do, they can put it into the chat window. But hopefully everybody has sound and we can basically proceed along. So a little bit of housekeeping. If you want to use Twitter, please use the hashtag CIAOPS. My Twitter handle, if you wish to follow me, is directorCIA. If you can please keep the questions to the end, that way we can make sure we get through all the content beforehand. And again, if you've got any additional questions or something pops up after the event, please send me an email via director@ciaops.com. And hopefully this will be part of an ongoing series of webinars. Again, keep posted to the blog, which you'll get the address at the end to see what the subject is and when they're running. So our agenda for today, we're going to have a look at SkyDrive, which is the commercial version of the web storage. We'll have a look at SkyDrive Pro, which is the newly announced product which comes with typically SharePoint 2013. We'll have a quick revisit of SharePoint Workspace, which is the syncing product that came with Office 2010, and then we'll run through a conclusion. But before we dive any further into it, we're going to need to install some software, and this is going to take about 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do here firstly is I'm going to launch into an Office 365 environment. So what I'm doing here is logging into the latest version of Office 365. And what that'll do is that'll give us a look at the new interface. And this is where we will see the new SkyDrive element. So this is the new Office 365 that's currently in preview, as you note. And you'll notice up here under the new menu bar, we have an option here called SkyDrive. So if we click this, this will take us basically to SharePoint. So you'll see that it has taken us to the SharePoint area. And again, that's denoted by obviously SharePoint.com at the top here. So what it's done is it's taken us to a personal area within SharePoint, what used to be known as a SharePoint My Sites. You'll see that here's my name, obviously, my documents, but these are the list of the documents that I have saved in my SharePoint. Now in the top right here, you'll notice that there is a sync button. So if we mouse over that, we can create a synchronized copy of this document library, what happens then is basically if we click that, what you'll see is it actually goes to a blank page. So what you'll notice if you look at the URL up the top here is I have groove open : / and then a HTTPS. So you'll notice here that the syncing application basically hasn't run for some reason. So what that indicates is there's not a suitable application on our machine. So what we need to do is actually, to get that to work, we need to install the SkyDrive Pro application. So this at the moment is a small app that comes as part of Office 2013. So you notice I'm doing an Office 2013 install, and one of the options here when I customize it is the Microsoft SkyDrive Pro. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select to run that. You'll see that this will now start installing in the background. It'll take about 10 minutes. So while we're doing that, let me swap back to the slides. So let's start off talking about SkyDrive. So SkyDrive is the consumer-based web storage version from Microsoft. Okay, so not SkyDrive Pro, just normal SkyDrive. So if you want to use it, it's freely available at skydrive.live.com, and we'll go into a bit of a demo of that shortly. At the moment, you currently get 7 gigabytes of storage. Okay, so you get 7 gigabytes of free storage. If you already had a SkyDrive account, then basically you could get up to 25 gigs for free. Now, If you want, you can also purchase additional storage. I believe up to 100 gigabytes. So again, you can use SkyDrive 7 gigabytes for free once you sign up, and if you want, you can pay for additional storage. Okay, and importantly, it also includes the Office Web Apps. So what's Office Web Apps? Office Web Apps is the ability to edit and view Office documents directly on the web browser. So again, you don't need to necessarily have Word, Excel, and PowerPoint installed on your desktop or on your mobile device. You can simply use a browser to achieve that. Now, obviously, you won't get exactly the same functionality if you use the browser, but you'll get a fair amount that will allow you to do basic edits, basic changes, and things like that. So let's just now talk about what you can also get. So that's SkyDrive, the website which you can go to. Now, attached to that is also what's known as what I'll call the SkyDrive app. Okay, so you can get desktop applications for syncing information from your consumer-based SkyDrive to your PC or Mac. Freely available, easily downloadable, installed on machine. If you want to go to that direct, you can just go to apps.live.com/SkyDrive. Okay, so let's have a look at SkyDrive in action. So we can see that our Professional Plus is still installing our little application that we need. So let's just go over to SkyDrive over here. So this again is the consumer version of SkyDrive, which has been readily available now for a number of years. So if we go in there, this will obviously connect up to our SkyDrive account. Take a minute obviously because we're just running this on a virtual machine. So now that the browser has opened, it should take me straight into my SkyDrive. Now I've set it to automatically logged in. But as you can see, I already have a number of documents here, files and folders. So for example, if I click into this folder called book-sps, what we'll see in here is that I have a OneNote file, denoted by the little icon here. So if I click on that OneNote project, okay, so what will happen here is that will now open it in Office Web Apps, and we'll see our OneNote here displayed in a web browser. So you see it's currently powering up the OneNote web app. It'll download that file and then basically display it in a browser for you. So again, beware of mindful of the speed here because we are installing an app in a virtual machine in the background, so it will take a little time obviously to render. So here it is in the background. We can see that we have basically our OneNote. We can see that these are the tabs for those of you who are familiar with OneNote. We've got Chapter 1, Chapter 2. We can obviously click in the document here. We can edit that. We can update that. We can do all those sort of fantastic things that we can with any Office document. So again, that's all through a browser here. So when I finish with the document, basically it will save it automatically back to SkyDrive. If I just click on the SkyDrive breadcrumb up here in the top left there, it will take me back to my SkyDrive. So as you can see, I can view my SkyDrive in a number of different ways. I can view it as a simple list here. I can view it as icons. What I've got up here is the ability to look at my recent docs. I can choose to share documents or folders with others. So again, once I select, for example, a folder, you'll notice that the menu up the top now improves. I can now open that. I can download it. But you'll see that I also have the ability to share. So what I can do here is I can share it via email, basically put someone's email address in there, send them a greeting, and then I can also post to Facebook or LinkedIn if I want to share that. And you'll see that I can choose how I share that. So I can set it up to view only. I can set it up so that people can have view and edit, or I can make it a public area. So again, very handy. You can use the SkyDrive location here, obviously to share files, and you'll notice over here on the right I do have a number of folders that are shared, and obviously one here, for example, which is photos, which is currently public. So that's easy to set up, easy way to make and manage any files that you have to share. So you'll see that I can do things like rename, delete, I can look at properties, and at the very end here I also have the ability to clear my selection. You'll also notice here that I have the ability to generate some HTML